We've seen quite a few prepositions up until now, these words that refer to movement or position or direction. For example, we had two words for. What were they?
Para and por.
Good. Para and por. And how did we say from or of?
De.
De. With?
Con.
Con. In or on?
En.
En. Good. So we've seen quite a few of those. Now, prepositions in Spanish won't come at the end of the sentence as they can in English. We've seen this already as well. Do you remember how to say, where are you from? You are, speaking informally, from ser is eres. Eres. So how would you say, where are you from?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres? So in English, where are you from? We're putting the preposition at the end of the sentence, and that's fine in English, but it's incorrect Spanish. So you don't say, where are you from? You say, from where are you? ¿De dónde eres? If we want to say, where are you going in Spanish, we say, to where are you going? What was you are going, speaking informally?
Vas.
Vas. Good. So to where are you going?
¿A dónde vas?
¿A dónde vas? Good. We are going to the United States. The United States is Estados Unidos. United States. Estados Unidos. And I should mention, you don't translate the word for the. You just say, we are going to United States.
Vamos a Estados Unidos.
Vamos a Estados Unidos. We discussed the concept before about working backwards. So instead of building up to say what we want to say, finding bits of language and working backwards to find the to form of a verb. So for example, imagine we looked up somewhere United States, or we asked somebody how to say United States, and we came across Estados Unidos. We can use unidos to work backwards to work out what is the verb to unite. How do you think that is?
Unidad.
Not guessing, but really working backwards, which instead of building up, building down. Instead of adding bits on to the verb, seeing what has been added and consciously taking it off.
So ido has been added. When you add ido, you take off the ending of the to form.
And what is the ending with ido?
Ir.
Or?
Er.
You should experiment and see which one feels more natural to you. Now, the one that you may have heard before is probably going to feel more natural, even if you didn't register it. So if you heard before the correct version, it's going to feel more natural. And also, the more words you learn in Spanish, the greater intuition you get about the phonetics of Spanish, what sounds more Spanish. So that should direct you when you say uner, unir, to understand which one is to unite. Which one do you think it is?
Somehow I think it's unir.
Unir. But at this stage, there's no reason for you to know what sounds more Spanish. This intuition is something that occurs with practice and exposure and listening. But working backwards is a useful skill that we want to employ in our language learning journey. So we said that prepositions won't come at the end. So if we say, for example, the girl I work with, in Spanish, we will say the girl with which, with that, with who I work. We have the option. So what was to work? Do you remember?
Trabajo. Trabajar.
Trabajar, to work. Good. The girl is la chica. La chica. It's kind of informal, but very common. La chica. How do you think the guy would be if the girl is la chica?
El chico.
El chico. So we can begin with the one that we know already, which is with that. Con que? The girl with that I work.
La chica con que yo trabajo.
La chica con que trabajo. You don't need the yo unless you're emphasizing. La chica con que yo trabajo. We could also say with which. La chica con cuál trabajo. We could say with who. La chica con quien trabajo. We could even put la que or la cual, which means which or that, but we're showing that it's a feminine which or a feminine that. La chica con la cual trabajo. La chica con la que trabajo. You have all of those options in Spanish, but don't worry about them. You can just use que. So whilst you have all of those options and you will hear them, and when you get comfortable with hearing them and understanding them, you will start using the different ones without really thinking about it very much. You don't want to worry about it now. Que you can use for everything, for all of that. La chica con que trabajo.
So it's correct.
Yeah, it's correct Spanish. But you have all of those options. La chica con cual trabajo, la chica con la cual trabajo, la chica con la que trabajo, la chica con quien trabajo. The girl that I was working with. So how would you say it is? It is the girl I was working with. Let's go through it slowly. It is the girl.
Es la chica
With who?
con que
Con que I was working. I used to work.
So it's trabajar, and that becomes aba,
Good.
trabajaba.
Altogether, it's the girl I was working with.
Es la chica con que trabajaba.
Es la chica con que trabajaba. How would you say the girl with whom? The girl that I was going to the party with. The girl with whom or with that, with which. All of those are okay in Spanish.
La chica con que
La chica con que I was going to the party. So I was going is the line version of ir, which is irregular, but we can remember that it takes a little bit from the two options that we have to make the line version. We have aber for are verbs and ia for ir verbs. And the verb ir kind of blended together aber and ia and came up with...
iba. Oh,
So you can think of it that way. You can think of it like aber and ia kind of blending together to have iba. Or you can think of it like the present, ba, but with an I before. In the past it's spelled with a B, I-B-A, iba, where in the present it's spelled with a V, V-A. But as we know, they are very similar sounding. So it's like the present with an I before. So in the present you have he's going, él va, or él va. And then in the past, él iba. So I was going, he was going, she was going, it was going, you formal were going is
iba.
iba. So the girl with which I was going to the party.
La chica con que iba a la fiesta.
Good. La chica con que iba a la fiesta. So you can say la chica con la cual, la chica con quien, la chica con la que. You have all of these options. Let's use cual in a sentence, which is the word for which. Then it's not just the which like this to connect the girl with which. You can also use it like a question. Which one do you want? You probably can guess we don't need the word for one.
¿Cuál quieres?
Good. Which one do you want? ¿Cuál quieres? Good. So cual, C-U-A-L, means which. I know, from saber, to know, was sé. We said it's very irregular. Just S-E. I know.
Sé.
Good. How would you say I don't know which one he wants?
No sé cuál quiere.
Good. No sé cuál quiere. How would you say I don't know which one he wants to see?
No sé cuál quiere ver.
No sé cuál quiere ver. Good. Now, what if you wanted to say, I don't know with which one he wants to do it? I don't know which one he wants to do it with.
No sé con cuál quiere hacer it with.
Well, you said the with already.
Lo.
Yeah.
So it's just law at the end.
Yeah, and you might feel this temptation often to repeat the preposition again at the end, even if you put it before, because that English is pushing through with the negative language transfer. No sé con cuál quiere hacerlo. I don't know with which one he wants to do it. I don't know which one he wants to do it with. So we don't put the preposition at the end of the sentence in Spanish. We will rearrange the sentence, and whilst this sounds more formal in English, of course it doesn't sound more formal in Spanish. It's just the only correct option. The word for who, we've mentioned very briefly, is quién. Quién.
¿Quién?
Good. If you want to say who is going, what verb version will who go with? Who is who? Is it you? Is it them? Is it he, she, it? Who is who?
He, she, it.
Good. So how would you say who is going?
¿Quién va?
¿Quién va? Good. And in Spanish you have the plural of who. If you're expecting more than one person, if you know that your who refers to more than one person, you can put quién into plural. So how do you think that would sound?
¿Quiénes?
Yeah, quiénes. So if you want to say who's going and you know it's more than one person,
¿Quiénes van?
good. And you change the verb as well to match. ¿Quiénes van? Good. How would you say who is here?
¿Quién es aquí?
You know, yeah,
Está.
it's your location.
¿Quién está aquí?
Good. ¿Quién está aquí? And if you knew you were talking about here, you could just leave that out. As we have the sense of location with estar, we don't really need to say the here if we know that we're talking about here. Like we said before, if you knock on someone's door, you just say estás.
Ah, right, yeah.
Because we're using estar and we're talking about states, that's enough context for us if we just leave it by itself to understand that we're speaking about location. So you could just say who is.
¿Quién está?
¿Quién está? I don't know with who I have to do it. I don't know who I have to do it with. How is I have to? What have do we use to get the meaning of have to?
Tengo. Tener.
Tener. Tener, to have. I have.
Tengo.
Good. And to get the meaning of I have to?
Tengo que.
Tengo que. So I don't know who I have to do it with. I don't know with who I have to do it.
No sé con quién tengo que hacerlo.
Good. No sé con quién tengo que hacerlo. Or if we knew we meant more than one person, no sé con quiénes tengo que hacerlo. Good. How would you say, I don't know who I have to do it for? I don't know for who I have to do it.
No sé para quién tengo que hacerlo.
Good. No sé para quién lo tengo que hacer. Or no sé para quién tengo que hacerlo. Good. What if you wanted to say, I don't know who I have to do it because of? I don't know who I have to do it because of. So how would that sound?
No sé por quién tengo que hacerlo.
No sé por quién lo tengo que hacer. No sé por quién tengo que hacerlo.